So
there we go.
Kind of do a behind-the-scenes video stuff here.
Yeah, so there we are. We're live with the Hangout, recording Video Marketing Madness. Derral Eves on the show today. He's going to talk about Vid Summit and what's new with YouTube.
Yes, indeed. Lots of
Hi,
fun.
Derral.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, good.
All right. Well, if we're ready, I'm ready.
Yep. Okay, I'll give you a 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
This episode of Video Marketing Madness is made possible by freevideoeditor.co. Are you looking to create videos, but you're not quite the best video editor in the world? Well, we've got something special. We've got a video editor that's completely free and yet still has the power of a high-end, expensive video editing system. You want to do green screen? You want to do three-point editing? You want to do text and graphics? Well, we've got the editor for you over at freevideoeditor.co. And on today's show, we've got a very special guest. We've got Derral Eves joining us from out in the desert, who's going to talk a little bit about video marketing and YouTube and Vid Summit. So it should be a great show.
Okay, this is where the jingle goes.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
3, 2, 1. It's the radio show about Video Marketing Madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper on the Show podcast network. Facebook page is Video Marketing Madness, Twitter, Video MKT Madness, plenty of useful tips. You know them, you love them, you're sort of in the desert too, Ray the Video Guy.
Yeah, that's totally true. I really am, actually, and not only in the desert, but it was 121 degrees this weekend as I was driving down the street.
I guess I shouldn't complain.
No, you definitely cannot complain. It was quite the interesting couple of days. But actually, Derral, we were actually up by your house about a week ago. So
you were able to cool off here then?
It was only like cool off a little bit, yes. Yeah, we went out to a place called Canaryville Falls.
Hey, that's right by my house. I mean, you drove right by my house. You didn't even say hi. I'm offended.
I know.
Did you actually go up the falls? Did you go up?
Oh yes, we went all the way up. Beautiful place.
Yeah. No, it was nice and cool in there, I bet. So. Yeah,
it wasn't bad. Actually, it wasn't that hot at that point. It was when we came home that it decided to spike into the 110, 20 degrees, just to melt our brains off. So. But anyway, so we're here to talk. You've got something special, and at the end of the show, you're even going to provide something special, if I understood you correctly.
That is correct. Yeah.
Yes.
So they need to stick to the end to get the special, right?
That's right. Hang around and stick to the end of the show, folks. All right. Well, Derral, first of all, I want to start talking a little bit. Obviously, the video landscape has changed a lot since last year, and by last year I mean Vid Summit of last year, which was in October, correct? I can't even remember anymore.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay, good. Mike, I think it was October. I hope it was. Get so confused at this point. But so back in October, the big thing, of course, was YouTube ads seemed to be one of the big things. And at the time, Periscope and the late great Meerkat, no longer with us, dead and buried. So that's how quickly things have changed. It was the hot thing when we were there, and it's already gone. So
come and gone. That's kind of the way it works, though. I've been in this industry for quite some time, working exclusively with video and YouTube since 2006. But what's interesting is things come and go, and things stay the same, and they kind of evolve.
Yep.
And what was interesting is we at the Vid Summit. We had Casey Zeman that really was showing the latest tips and techniques on Periscope. A lot of the stuff are cutting edge that now some of the training is actually coming out now, almost a year later, of some of the things that we were discussing at that conference for sure. So.
Oh yeah, and one of the things I remember, we did the open forum there where we had 4 or 5 of us on stage, and I think every single one of us talked about live video being the next big thing. And I have to admit, at the time, I was a little trepidatious about it still, but I knew it was the next big thing, but I still couldn't quite wrap my head around it at that point in time, just because of the I loved the live nature of it. I loved the fact that you could do certain things, but it was still so limited. And now, literally, Facebook Live has come out. They've added some amazing features. Quite literally, I'm at this point over the last month probably about 90% Facebook Live now with my videos.
Yeah, no, it's definitely changing the landscape, and there's some other things that are coming out. Instagram's going to have live video.
Yep.
It's not announced, but I mean they're really priming everything from there to compete with Snapchat. But I don't know if you remember this, Ray, but remember my daughter was on that panel, and here she is, 16 years old, and she's 17 now, but she was 16 at the time. And she disagreed pretty much with everybody on the panel because she's like, no, nobody's going to do that. She said, meerkat, that's going to literally die. That's going to go away. And what was really interesting, she goes, live video is where it's at, and then also Snapchat. And there are more and more marketers now that are leaning towards Snapchat and having an integrated system from there. Yeah. And so, ultimately, there are some changes coming to Snapchat. There are some changes coming to YouTube, to Facebook, but the landscape has changed. I know Mark Zuckerberg just recently was interviewed, and he's gone time and time again. He says the news feed's going to completely change over the next 3 to 5 years, and it's going to be all video. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh man, look at the opportunity. We're on the wave. Before it hits and crashes, we're actually riding the wave here, and there's a lot of things that are actually happening in the industry, and those that are early adopters and understand how it works and how things roll, I think that's where we're going to benefit the most.
Yep, and there was one other thing that we were talking a lot about, which hasn't quite reached its fruition yet, but I've seen a lot of noise again lately that seems to be indicating they're finally getting their act together, which is Amazon and their video platform, which seems to be coming along now. And it's been 9 months now, but it seems like it's finally starting to come together.
So I think the biggest thing with Amazon that you need to take into consideration is they're really good at playing the long game. And all these people are trying to figure things out. They have their Amazon Prime. They have their original content. They have all this content that's there. Their delivery system's not up to par, but they did acquire Twitch, and Twitch is just skyrocketing.
Oh yeah.
It's growing at a faster rate than what was even projected, and I think what they're doing is gathering information. They have it available. They're trying to get the relationships that are going there. And I think that you're going to see over the next 12 to 18 months where they're going to really hone in on understanding what type of content that people actually want. Are they actually going to compete with YouTube? Are they going to compete with Facebook? I don't think so. I think what they're going to do is go full barrels at Netflix and full barrels at unique content with new creators that aren't mainstream. These are the people that might have big followings on YouTube or Facebook, and they're going to be providing content for Amazon, and Amazon's going to really capitalize on it too. They're going to be platform independent, where they'll be on Amazon Fire or whatever platform that you want to be on. They'll be able to be sucked right into your smart TV, and you're able to consume content, in unique ways. And also, one of the things that I'm really interested in is how they're going to really do the mobile integration, because that's where all the views are now. I mean, literally, almost 70% of all views on video are coming from mobile. It's heavier on other platforms, but across the board, it's about 70%. I see that being closer to 80 to 90% over the next 3 years.
Well, I think once Instagram really gets into the game, and obviously Snapchat is starting to really get into that game, I think you're really going to see that number bump, just because that's the two platforms that seem to be really growing at an exponential rate these days. And
it's interesting though, is there are a lot of people abandoning Instagram because the old people are coming on,
Yeah.
And so they're going to Snapchat, and they're like, oh man, all these people are coming on Snapchat. This is not the cool thing anymore. They're moving, but I think the platforms are evolving, and what's interesting about it is there's really unique opportunities on each platform and how to actually utilize it in a unique way. It's like, let me just give you the perfect example. Is my sister-in-law decided she wanted to go into business for herself. I mean, great. She's an entrepreneur, wanted to do that. She wanted to sell women's clothing. She's like, well, what's the best way to do it? I'm like, just Periscope, live stream it. Go on Facebook, live stream. That's all you need to do. And in one weekend, she sold $1,500 worth of clothes. And that was more money than she made in a long time. And she has a system now of what she's able to do. And there's a unique way. And I think the social, like what we talked about at the last Vid Summit, the Vid Summit before, is the social component with live video, and you'll actually have a long tail segment too. They're all going to converge. Where it's really interactive, and I think we're starting to see that now. One of the things that that is really emerging right now is VR, and there's some really interesting advertising opportunities there. If you guys don't know where technology is going, everyone should read Ready Player One. Because we're outlining that, man. I'm telling you. And we're on the verge, we're on the precipice of going VR, straight VR. Because YouTube, the CEO of YouTube last year and the year before says they have one focus, and then everything kind of builds towards that, and they want to be the VR platform.
Yeah, it's growing. I mean, the 360 stuff is getting big. Even my Facebook Live streaming platform has built-in 360 video.
Yeah, no, and this is just the beginning. And 360 video is just like the first little stepping stool that needs to happen. When there's a place in Linden, Utah, that actually does this full immersive VR experience called The Void. And it's like a warehouse that you go into it, and it totally changes atmospheres, everything just feels real. And I took my kids, it's still closed for public, but I was able to get in, took my kids there, and they were blown away. I was blown away, because like you go and pick up a torch, you can feel the heat from the torch, the wind's blowing at you, you're going through it, dinosaurs and everything's coming at you, it's a full immersive experience. They had this one part where the ground falls out, and I literally I thought I was falling. I mean, it's just really a part of it, and so it's really interesting to how it's going to evolve and what's going to be on the forefront. And this is one thing I do know, and I'll preach this from the top of the pulpits, but there are unique opportunities to make money with what's happening, and those that understand it and understand the dynamics of how things can work, it's gonna literally change people's lives and create new opportunities. Let me kind of tell you a couple. First off is advertisers are usually late to the game, but they come in at the right time. They want to see what's going to be there, but there's a lot of money going towards product placement, influencer marketing, things that really integrate brands into content, because the traditional way to reach people just doesn't work the same way it did 5 years ago, or even 10 years ago, heck, even a year ago. It's literally changing and transforming, and so there are new ways. There's a lot of money being thrown at new technologies. We see right now there's a lot of people that are now doing integrated brand strategies, and more brands are throwing a lot more money. They're saying, hey, TV doesn't work like it used to, so let's complement it with YouTube videos and also integrated influencer marketing campaigns. But now we're even seeing it where they're like, hey, do you know what? They can make unique content for us. And then they're like, hey, you know what? We can actually have product placed in video games. We can have product placed in VR experiences and 3D world, experiences. And so, there's a lot of interesting things. And I think we're at a point right now where I think the dust's starting to settle a little bit. And there's a lot of unknowns of what platforms are going to be the ones that take off. But Facebook's hedging their bets, Snapchat's hedging their bets, YouTube's hedging their bets, i.e. Google is hedging their bets, and there's a couple ones that aren't necessarily announced yet that will be true contenders because they have a lot of money behind it, and some of the technologies they have is just remarkable. I mean, it's just one of the things that just blow your mind.
Yeah, and you mentioned something I think that's really important there is I really see a lot of the advertisers becoming content providers versus straight up advertisers. Rather than a Coke commercial, it'll probably be a Coke VR entertainment experience, with their product everywhere placed.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is I think two companies really transform the way that advertising is actually working. One is Red Bull. They've been a client of mine for the last 5 years, and they're so huge. They do so many different things that's going on, but it was all integrated brand strategies and creating cool content that people would love to share, and that would enhance their brand. Number 2 is GoPro. GoPro literally transformed video, and it transformed the way that you can advertise by creating content. And then there's been other companies that have kind of piggyback and learned those techniques and doing it, but I see more is, hey, let's create unique content that people would organically love to share, and ultimately it will just extend our brand. And you're going to get more and more opportunities out there from the local level up to the Fortune 100 companies that are really going to be more integrated with this for sure.
Oh, that's beautiful. So let's switch gears for a little bit of time here. One of the other big things that we talked about last year, of course, was YouTube advertising, which is a big part of everybody's strategies now. In fact, we're seeing a lot more YouTube ads than we are seeing a lot of the organic work that people were doing before. Tell us a little bit about where YouTube ads are now versus a year ago.
So YouTube ads have evolved over the last few years, and I've been one that I actually spend a lot of money for my clients and myself on video ads, just because they're so effective and you can get really hyper localized. I know you were at the presentation when I was kind of going over my segmented list that I actually create to serve videos.
Yes,
and it was one of those like, what? You do what? It's really crazy what you can do. But video content, the way that it's delivered and connecting the right person with the right message at the right time is really powerful. Now, one of the projects that I actually worked on, I was the executive producer of the pooping unicorn ad. I don't know, did you guys see that?
Oh, only about 3,000 times.
20 times. Yes, 20 times. So,
twice yesterday.
Yeah, twice yesterday. So, with that, there's ways to actually integrate brands with video ads, and we have a huge video ad strategy for that. That video ad will run probably for 2 or 3 years, because not everyone in the world, even though it has hundreds of millions of video views between Facebook and YouTube, not everyone in the world has seen it yet, and it still brings in. It's kind of the beginning of the funnel, and then we kind of have a hardcore remarketing strategy, and then it just converts into sales. And so where things are at and where things are going is getting your audiences developed are a lot smarter. So last year you could do X amount of things to really develop audiences and serve those ads to those audience. What YouTube has done and what they're going to do and what they are in the process of doing is really honing in on your audience and really getting the right message to that audience. And so this morning I was on a call. I have kind of a team that works for me at Google, and so every week we get together and strategize over my clients and some of the projects that I'm working on. And what's interesting from it is some of the things that weren't even possible are so possible now. And what I mean by that is they're just gathering so much data, and they're opening up opportunities for data collections so that you can actually figure out the right type of a target avatar that you're hitting that would get the highest conversions. And they have some really cool tools. There's some that are in beta right now that they'll release to everybody else, but really cool tools to do a lot of split testing and turning things off and on and having it migrate to the winner, which is really cool. So whether that gets introduced, I don't think I'm breaking I don't think I'm breaking any terms of service. I don't know. But anyway, you didn't hear this from me, but yeah, and it's on YouTube right now. But anyway, it might be released this year or early next year, but it's basically going to transform video advertising as you know it, because one of the things that they're doing is helping you decide what's going to be the most effective ad. Because what if an ad's super effective, Ray? What would you do if you knew an ad, if you put in $1 that you can make 5? What would you do?
I would beg, borrow, and steal as many billions of dollars as possible.
Because it does. You'll get to a point of plateau, and there's software that will say, okay, here's your plateau, and you can create a different segment. But yeah, you would. It's like having your own bank. You're putting in $1 and making $5. And so, it's a no-brainer. What YouTube and Google specifically are doing is really understanding the audience that's already going through it. So there's a couple new lists that will be available to those that are advertising, and it really hones in on the nature of what people do, because they track everything. It doesn't matter if you're in incognito mode or whatever. It really pulls in, and they're tracking that data of what people are doing, how they do it, and you can actually segment that out and serve it at a unique time. And you can create those segmented lists and go from there. But it does transform, and it will continue to transform. I think they have a couple things on the radar that make it very effective, but you don't want to discount, just saying, oh, I'm going to just do Facebook, YouTube videos. Facebook is a really powerful way to do it. However, you need to keep in mind, how does everything complement each other? And I know at the last Vid Summit, we went in detail of how things complement. I know, at this coming Vid Summit, we're actually going to go in depth of how actually to run an integrated video marketing campaign that you're putting on all different platforms, and it actually has one specific goal. We're just basically going to outline that for sure.
Oh yeah, and I've said for ages, because people constantly ask, gee, do I do Facebook ads or do I do YouTube ads? Well, it's two totally different sides of the same coin. I mean, one is when you put an ad on YouTube, people are searching for you and finding it. Whereas on Facebook, you're trying to find the people and shove it in their face. So it's a very opposite way that they work, and they both do very, very well for different reasons. But I'll be honest with you, while the gross numbers on Facebook are very impressive, the millions and millions of views, the amount of views per dollar you make from those views is still easily in the YouTube side of things, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so and trust me, we actually have a pretty big budget that we do for our clients. Like we spend a lot of money, and so we're able to test everything. And you're right, for conversions, there's no competition. I mean, YouTube just blows everything out of the water. However, what type of conversions are you looking for? There's difference. Is it an entry point to a funnel? Then YouTube or then Facebook might be just as powerful. It just really depends on what your goal is. But I think the biggest thing is realizing that if you do certain things, that it could trigger other things happening that can open up more opportunity. Let me just kind of give you an example. We had that video that we talked about that we released. It had 35 million views in it was 24 hours, and it was taking off, just going through the roof. And we learned something by sad experience, and this is a very sad thing. We actually put ad dollars to boost it. Not boost it like hitting the boost button, but we wanted to throw some money at that specific post to really get it in front of more people. And it literally stopped. We had 35 million views on that, and we had about 700,000 shares, and people were tagging galore. So the organic literally stopped as soon as we started putting money at it, because Facebook's like, they have money to spend. Then
we're not going to put this in front of people now.
And you know what? Even though that we're at 100 million and we're still getting share, we lost the momentum. And so we did a lot of testing since then. And what's really interesting, and specifically me, I did a lot of testing. What's really interesting is that you do your organic push and you have that just go. And you could do like a dark post and do another post that goes out and reaches people and goes from there. That's very powerful. But the most powerful way, Ray, and let me tell you what's even better, is to have someone share that post and then you do ad spend on another account where it's on another page that you're pushing it up from there, and there's no penalty. And so that's kind of the workaround, so that Facebook doesn't say, they have money, because what you're doing is you're uploading the video here natively on a page, and then they share it to another page, and then you do your ad spend on a completely separate page to that specific audience and grow that audience.
No, it makes total sense there. It really does. Now, one of the other big things that we've seen over the last year is the growth of these third-party platforms, the Instagrams, the Snapchats, like we talked about, even the Periscopes. Where do you see those going next? And as video marketers, is that something we still need to really be paying attention to right now?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is you don't count out the big boys that have a lot of money and are just sticking around. You mentioned Meerkat. Meerkat was kind of the cat's meow. Everybody's like, oh, you got to be on Meerkat, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the experience.
No, me neither.
It was cool. It was innovative, but I thought Periscope was a lot stronger. And the reason why Periscope didn't die and Meerkat did is because Twitter just cut Meerkat's knees off.
Right.
It was so easy to integrate with Twitter. It just became more difficult. And you know what? Now that Periscope's owned by Twitter, then why isn't it easy enough to integrate? So that's why that sticks around and it's able to go from there.
Which is ironic because Meerkat, most of their original funding came from Twitter.
Exactly, but why would you want to not own the whole thing? That's Twitter's perspective.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm surprised they didn't go after Meerkats, who they'd already put.
Yeah, like technology-wise, I think it was an inferior piece of technology.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Yeah, it seemed to be.
But anyway, looking at what's going to happen, and I like to keep my ear to the ground, and there's times that I get up and say, okay, this is what's going to happen in the next few years. And I've been right pretty much all the time on that, but I'm very selective of what to say because, you don't want to say, oh, yeah, MySpace is going to be the next big thing, and then it just dies off on the vine.
Still waiting for Plurk.
You got Plurk. Exactly. But here's what I do know. Live video is going to be where it's at. Facebook live video is where it's at. Just because they're putting heavy money behind it, and they're paying influencers now to do live stream.
Yep.
Are they doing it right? I don't know. Time will tell. But they have the audience.
I'll tell you, I'm clearly doing something right with it because it is the single most effective thing I have done in years. We did and I outlined this in a little training that I did. We did 3 Facebook live videos. Where I just demoed products and showed the inside and everything. $900 per video that we did.
Yep. And I think that too is understanding. I think this is the biggest problem, right? That people say, "Oh, I can use this as this type of approach for this video." Each specific video has a specific purpose of how effective it will be. Trying to do tutorial videos. On Snapchat probably wouldn't be the best thing for you, right? It's really understanding the platform, how the audience is, and then integrating that so that audience can develop and grow and love. And I see Facebook Live as kind of like the infomercial. I mean, I had a friend. This is no exaggeration. I had a friend that did a Father's Day sale. And he just went in a room with his camera, his little phone, and says, okay, I'm giving this away, or, you can buy this. And he's just basically doing the infomercial, sold out in like 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And he made money, and it's just like integrating with his friends. And so I think it's going to be like Garage Sale 2.0. And anyone that wants to, like, literally, this is one that I will put the flag in the ground and say, this is exactly, where it's heading. But if anybody wants to do yard sales, garage sales online, and create a Facebook page that actually does that and only use live video, you guys will go nuts. You're going to see massive growth because that one little thing that he did, he got thousands of people to like his page just by doing a small little video integration from it. So,
well, I'll have that live by next Tuesday. It's amazing though, and I completely agree with you on this, and the infomercial part especially, because and I don't know how much you've played around with the Facebook Live. I mean, obviously, most people are still doing it with their phone. They're talking to their phone, but Facebook has that live streaming integration, much like YouTube Live does. So you can do multi-camera shoots, you can do screen captures, you can do all that kind of fun stuff, and that's really, in my opinion, where it's at. I think I've done one talk to my phone Facebook Live ever. I don't even do that at all. It's all cameras and screen shares and all that for me, and it's very, very effective. And I can see it almost replacing, or at least in some instances, replacing webinars.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
There's only one weakness to it. It's the whole scheduling portion of things. That's
Yeah,
their
and
biggest weakness.
that is, and notifying people beforehand,
Right.
of what's going on. But there's some tools that's being developed, but I don't doubt that that's on the forefront.
Yep.
Of really scheduling it. But I see that more for pages and not for individuals.
Yeah, and that's
just
fine.
the way that Facebook works. But yeah.
No, that's perfectly fine, because there's already been. I mean, it amazes me that Facebook Live has been around for such a short time. There's already these tools being developed. There was one that came out last week called Live Leap, where you set up where you want to go live. For instance, you go live to your Facebook page, and it instantly sends that live video out to 4 or 5 other pages and your groups and your personal profile, and so now you're getting live audiences from 10 different locations at the same time. That's
Absolutely.
incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty interesting where things are going. And so, I mean, for me, it's all going to be live video, and then you're going to always have your YouTube strategies. I don't think YouTube strategies are ever going to disappear. I think live video, the social component of that, it's going to get a lot more powerful in the next couple of years. And then VR's on the front of really total integrated experiences that people can have on the internet. So.
Oh, very interesting stuff. Well, with that, now we talked a lot about Vid Summit, and of course, I believe you already have your dates for next year. I don't know if you want to talk about next year's or not, but you've also got something special for us. Is that correct?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the biggest thing is explaining a little bit about what the Vid Summit is, and then I have a gift for everybody that's on for sure. But the Vid Summit is a pretty interesting little conference. I mean, you've been there every year, Ray.
Yep.
And it's a conference that wasn't really out there. So I started a conference to fulfill with the need that I wanted, which is cutting edge strategies in video marketing specifically. And anything around video. So video creation, video ads, audience development. How to integrate brands into your content, how to actually go after brand deals, the whole kit and caboodle on it. Also being cutting edge and having really in-depth case studies of how things actually work. And so I know you've been to a lot of conferences, Ray, and you've been to the Vid Summit. What was your thoughts on the amount of depth that's actually covered?
It's funny you say that, because while there's a lot of great surface stuff there, the depth is really where it stands out. I mean, it's really, you need to be furiously taking notes or recording it or something, because there's a lot there. It's not just a very simple, hey, we're going to talk about how to why you need to have a banner on your website. I mean, it's very in depth. Your presentation, first and foremost, on how you do your Facebook, on your YouTube ads, and the way you break it down. It was like a PhD course. I mean, it was crazy, absolutely crazy. So you learn there. You don't just learn about stuff. You actually learn so that you can do. And of course, there was a lot of very big influencers there to teach some of that stuff. So it was pretty incredible.
And there's a lot of people in the audience. There's people in the audience that had 2-3 million subscribers. I mean, it's crazy, crazy. And so, that's what the Vid Summit is. So we actually created it a few years ago, and I started it really small just to kind of figure it out. So it was like, the first year was like all video marketers, and because that was my niche, and so the next year was bringing content creators. And what was amazing from that is we had our video marketers with content creators, and it was like yin to the yang, and it really pulled people together. There's a lot of partnerships formed, new projects that was there, but it brought an element of, hey, it's not all about the marketing, it's about content. It's not always about the content, it's about the marketing, and it's kind of merged it together. And this year we're taking it even to a new level. This is the first year that I'm actually really promoting it, and we're really going after it, because it's all been word of mouth previous years. And we've literally filled a room, and now we're really to take off. But it's basically going with video marketers, content creators, and then integrated brands, having advertisers or ad agencies that really understand the big deals. And we actually have some amazing speakers coming to it. Now, at the end of this, I'm going to give you guys a gift. But hopefully you can see my screen. But the Vid Summit's happening this year, October 19th through the 22nd. It's in LA. We're 7 miles away from YouTube Spaces, and we do that strategically. But this conference, we have some of the biggest names in the industry. We have Daniel Harmon, who was the creative director on the Squatty Potty ad. He's also the creative director and producer on the Purple ad, which is just nuts of how much money that those two made. He's going to come and literally give the breakdown of what it actually takes to have a campaign from the creative to execution. And I'm going to come on too from that one, and I'm going to talk about the launch sequence that we went through and really dig deep into the campaign. And he's going to talk about Purple and a few other things like that as well. I'll also be talking about a couple things that haven't hit yet, but it'll hit before the conference, some viral video projects that we're working on. We also have Peter Hollins, who's probably one of the smartest YouTubers I've come around. He knows how to grow an audience, and he knows how to work in the music industry and how to make money creatively with that as well. We have Rory Haynes, who was the former CEO of New Media Rockstars. Really, really smart. And what he does now, he works for the Zealot Networks, and what he does is he's integrating the big movie studios and bringing them into the digital age. And it's really, really cool. We have Dan Markham with What's Inside. He's going to talk about the secrets that he did to get 2.4 million subscribers in 12 months. I think it's actually 2.7 now. I think they're almost at 3 million, but it's nuts. He just has massive growth. We also have a Snapchatter, Sean Duras, good friend of mine. He's actually coming. He's probably one of the bigger Snapchatters in the world, at least the most well-known. And he's actually going to talk about some very cool business ideas that you can do integrating with brands, and then also the transition from one platform to another, because he recently, less than a year ago, started a YouTube channel, and he has almost 400,000 subscribers. I'll bet you money, and you can put my word on this, he'll be at 1 million by the time the conference hits.
Nice.
He's just on a massive growth. And we have Austin Craig and Tim Schmoyer, and we have Amy, and we have Jared, we have Lassie that's coming from across the seas, Tommy Powers, and so on. And we have a few that we haven't really done, but this conference is all really high-end strategy. You can go there at vidsummit.com, check it out, listen to the testimonials. You can definitely go there for sure. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about learning. And Ray, my stance on that. I mean, I think that a lot of these conferences you go to, there's a lot of hypothetical, or there's a lot of things that happened like 4 or 5 years ago that's not as relevant now. And I can guarantee you this, at this conference, it's all cutting edge, it's all applicable, and it's all about making money, in one aspect or another. And some of the strategies, here you have some of the world's best coming, and they're blown away at the content that's there, because they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this. It's like, this is just amazing, because people are sharing their craft, and there's a sense of community and collaboration that's just amazing. So what I'd like to do is, you've been to it every year, Ray, and what I'd like to do for the people that are in the group, that listen to this radio program, that watch this hangout, all that stuff, is I want to give them access to the Vid Summit last year. That's 34 hours of content that you can access. And I'm going to do it for free. I mean, honestly, nice. This content definitely needs to be used, and so all you got to do is put your information in there. I just gave you my email address, but you can get there at vidsummit.com/vidcastlive. That's the kind of the free area to do that. I would assume that the link would be in the description, but
yep, we'll put them in the show notes for you.
vidcastlive, and you can get free replays. And honestly, the people that I only want getting these replays, I don't want to give it out to anybody. I haven't put it on my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, I have 260,000 people that follow me on there. But I don't want to do that. I want only serious people that really would love to be in the video marketing realm or the video realm to consume the content, because they're the ones that only will truly appreciate the depth that's there. And I know that's the people that follow you for sure. So
nice. Well, we appreciate that. I think if you've got any interest in video, this is something you're going to want to get your hands on. And of course, it's at the price that we love, which is free. We love free. So anytime we can get things to people for free, we absolutely jump at that opportunity. So that's fantastic. And we'll put that in the show notes for those of you that want to take advantage of that. And Derral, with that, I just want to thank you for coming on and talking about this stuff today, because there's so much going on, so many changes, and it's good to talk to other people who are on that cutting edge, are using these technologies for huge campaigns like Squatty Potty. And by the way, not only did I see Squatty Potty yesterday, but I actually said, oh, Derral's out doing ads today, because I saw that, and I saw VidAngel, and
yeah,
they were all popping up yesterday.
We follow you. That's all we do. Wherever you go on the internet,
I know, right?
We will follow you.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Funny, what I love about this is you can get pretty creative with your marketing, and it's just fun. I love it. I love what I do. I love this industry. I love these strategies, and I think you can learn from everyone. So.
And we appreciate all the stuff that you do, and we appreciate the free gift. And Steve, you've been quiet this whole time. Got anything you want to say?
Well, I've been listening and taking notes so we can have show notes. So yeah, this has been real interesting.
Steve, are we going to get you to come this year?
Well, let me see what I can do. I don't think I have an excuse this year. Last year I was moving my daughter into college, so
yeah, we felt bad that you didn't. We weren't able to make it. So.
Yeah. So, but she can move herself in now.
There we go. Yeah. And Ray just drive. He lives down there now. So
that's right. That's right.
Which was, by the way, that was fantastic, because then when we wanted to go out in the evenings and didn't want to eat at the same Asian restaurant 300 times, we were able to go and do that. So
it was so much fun.
Is it still at the airport there?
Yeah, it will be at the Westin, LAX. Okay. Yeah, okay. We got a good deal with it. They have quite the rooms that are available there. And I want to have it strategically placed close to YouTube Spaces. We do a lot with YouTube, and right. I want it to be close. And there's a lot of content creators that are there in LA. So.
And it's great for folks flying in, because you just hop on the shuttle and you're there.
You're there, yeah.
So, yeah.
And even when you fly in, you can actually, well, I'm going to say you could walk over there, but you really can't. You have to still drive out of there. But you can see it from when you get off. You can see the place, but
yeah.
Then you have to drive 5 miles around.
That's not a walking-friendly airport by any means.
No, it's not. It's not. You don't want to walk there anyway.
But they've got those shuttles. I mean, I think I waited 5 minutes to get on a shuttle, so it was no big deal. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And there's always Uber, so.
That's right.
Yeah, Uber, they do pick up at LA. There's some airports. I know Las Vegas, you have to be outside the perimeter to even.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. See, I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah.
I just remember people using Uber last time, so. Well, that's good. All right. Well, Derral, again, thank you for joining us with this. I love the fact that you're giving this to us. I'm looking forward to the next Vid Summit. I think it's going to be another great year of great content, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And we enjoy the. It is a beautiful hotel. If you want to go just to see the beautiful hotel, you get that. They've got a nice little steakhouse in there. You can get some good food. You don't even have to leave, and beautiful place, and a lot of great information.
I think the people's better. We have some of the best people there. I sure enjoy the friendships that people come. I mean, we had, people from different continents come this last year. I know this year we have just already that's registered. We have 6 different continents that they're coming from.
Wow!
So,
wow!
If you said 7, I wouldn't believe you, but
yeah, just 6.
Nobody
7,
from
Antarctica is cutting it.
Nobody from Atlantis.
They're not pulling
nobody
their
from
weight.
Antarctica.
Nobody from Atlantis.
All right. Well, we appreciate that, and with that, we'll bring this to an end. But Derral, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for providing us with the free videos, and thank you for putting on a great conference that everyone is going to want to be at during this October. This October. There we go. I've been speaking this language for only a few days now, so I apologize. All right. Well, with that, we'll bring this episode to a close. And Steve, you want to take us out here?
Yeah. Now, wait a minute. Who brought us this episode?
Well, it was brought to you by freevideoeditor.co. Imagine that. If you want to get a free video editor so that you can do green screening and screen captures and all that other fun stuff, that makes your video really shine, well, then you need to head on over to freevideoeditor.co. The editor is free, and we've got a lot of great little extras that you get along with it. And I guarantee you're going to love it. And if you don't know what it is, check back in our archives. We actually did an interview with the creator of the program.
That's right.
So you can check that out as well. But freevideoeditor.co, and you'll get your free video editor.
All righty, let's wrap it up with the jingle.
Now we pretend the jingle's playing. Yay.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Derral. You want to wrap up the hangout there, Ray?
Yeah. No. Okay, guys. Well, I know we had a few people listening live, so hi.
Hey, is there anybody that has questions? I mean, can we do questions for a little bit?
I don't.
Live, or you guys cut on time?
No. I don't think we have any way to do the questions per se.
They can leave a question in the chat room, but I'm not
in the chat room.
But I think only one person's in the chat. Oh no, now they're gone. I think.
Okay. They're like, oh, he's wrapping up. They're wrapping up.
But I think some of the people were on directly on YouTube, so they may have left. They may have left comments. We'll have to check back and see. So. Oh well. Who knows?
Cool.
Okay.
Hey guys, thank you so much, and yeah, if you want to put that link in the group, that'd be great. You know.
Yep. We will definitely do that. I'll even do a Facebook Live about it. How's that sound?
Excellent. You can just throw people that link, and should be good to go.
Excellent. All right. Well, with that, we'll talk to you guys later. I appreciate you doing it.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, guys.